Fish on! Fish on! Tuna Fishing UK. We're setting off. You can't see me because it's dark, but we're going anyway. It's a very different day today, much calmer. We've got a light northwesterly wind. It is due to build, but we should be alright for what we're doing. Come, I'll show you the weather now. We're out tuna fishing again today. We're just steaming out now. I've got Matt on board. Right, Matt? Let's hope we can hook into some fish. This is Matt's first commercial bluefin day with me. He has caught bluefin before, but that was on a recreational charter. We're just setting up our side rigs. These are trolled spreader bars with tracking birds. You can see here in Matt's hand, you can see it has a directional blade on that tracker. So we just need to check that the blade is pointing the right way for which side of the boat you're fishing. So this here is our tuna ramp. We had it made from the guys at Metalcraft, so thanks for that, guys. Aluminium, nice and light really for what it is. Rounded sides on it, like this, nice and smooth. And it fits into our back door there really nicely. Fit down onto the deck here and over here, this one here. And then it bolts into here and here. And the idea being that we can bring the fish in the best possible condition. Aiming for 2 fish today, if possible, but we'll see, you never know. This is me checking the drag settings on the reels. I'm going to pull a little bit of line off by hand and just check that they're where I want them to be. They should be fairly strong, it should be hard to pull the line off. Looking back, maybe these are a little bit light. They'll work fine, it will just mean that the fish will probably run a little bit longer on the initial run. Tuna fish spotted! Right, they spook fairly easily, so we've got to be clever about this. Still got eyes on them? Yeah. Woohoo! Look at these tuna! That's awesome. Well, there was a little shoal of them. We didn't hook up there, but it's a good sign. It's a good sign.
Fish right here. Fish right here.
All right. Fish in here, yeah.
Matt spotted a single fish feeding on the surface. I didn't quite capture it on film. These single fish, they're almost impossible to hook up like this.
Hope we don't hook up too much weed. We might get away with it. Still these patches of weed in the water. It's really annoying from our perspective because they go through the lures. Like this big patch of weed over here. And they hit our spreader bars and tangle it all up, and then we have to bring them in. Just seeing whether we get away with it or not.
Just deciding which flock of birds and shoal of fish to target. There's a few around us. Forager's towing up 4.9 knots, so we need to pick one that's going to still be feeding by the time we get there.
Tuna sighted again, just in front of us off the port bow. I don't want to spook these fish, so I'm going to come in quite steady. We're going to come in from the side of them. I don't know if you can see through the wheelhouse there. We've got some bird action on the surface.
I approached that shoal as carefully as I could, but we still didn't get a hook up. Basically, I think the tuna can hear the boat coming. Did a little bit of reading actually. When a boat approaches a shoal of feeding tuna, it sends their feeding behaviour into a sort of erratic behaviour, and they lose the coordinatedness of the attack. I think that breaks up the shoal of bait fish, and then the fish go to ground. They go deep, and that's why they stop feeding when you get too close to it.
Decent sized fish.
Okay, there's loads of tuna about. We keep encountering small shoals of about 5-6 fish, I reckon. Gosh.
Okay, change of hat, so it's getting serious. Definitely going to catch a tuna fish now.
Wow, fish everywhere out here at the minute. Hope we hook up.
This is where it starts to get exciting. Basically, we're approaching another shoal of feeding fish here. Matt's keeping an eye on them now. Normally I'll come in a bit wide of them and try and turn into these fish, but on this occasion the fish came to us. Keep an eye on the left hand side of the screen, you'll see the fish on the feed. Did you see the fish right next to our spreader bar there? This is the same shot from the other camera that I'm filming with. Super slow mode. See the tuna? Boff. Enough of the close-ups, back to fishing. Here we go.
Bringing in the other rod.
I've paused it to draw your attention to the fish number 3 that has just struck the lures on the rod Matt is winding in. So we currently have a triple hookup.
Fish on! Fish on! That's a big run.
Did you notice my mistakes? I'm busy fiddling with this drag while this fish is running. Yeah, don't do that.
Wow, that's a big run. Straight into a backing.
I'm winding in the portside rod just to get it out of the way.
Wow, that's a big one. Oh, that's one gone.
Yep, that's a fish has come off there on the stern port quarter. Is what it is. It's probably going to help us out because now we've only got 2 fish to deal with instead of 3. Although at this point, I don't think Matt had realised the fish was on. I certainly hadn't. The fish seemed to be swimming towards him. Until Matt's fish suddenly wasn't swimming towards him and decides to take off in the other direction. At which point, we definitely noticed we've got a fish on.
Something on it as well. Okay.
The
Wow.
moment of initial chaos has passed. Yeah, I mean, you have to remember we're learning here as we go. Hands up, this is probably our 5th fish and 6th fish that we've caught. It's now later in the season. I'm catching up on the videos. We've caught over 30 of these amazing fish now. Yeah, you know, these are the early days. Mistakes happen. Feel free to pick me up on them, point them out in the comments. I love it. We've probably learnt some of it already, but maybe there's something I haven't figured out yet. Matt's busy working on the fish. He's going to switch between the 2 rods while I set up the ramp. Involves taking the hatch out. We'll get our tools ready, like our mouth grips and our Icky Jimmy spike, the leather gloves, etc, etc. These are the bolts I was talking about earlier with the ramp. They screw it down to the deck, keep it nice and secure. I'll put the blue mat down for protection of the fish.
Can you have that one set?
We currently have both fish running on the same side of the boat, so I'm going to move this rod across to the other stern fighting station. To move the rod, I've backed the drag off. It's a balance between taking the pressure off me and the rod and also keeping a bit of pressure on the fish.
Alright, let's see.
So we've just seen another fishing boat coming towards us. It's a little trawler. I'm going to jump in the wheelhouse there and give him a shout on channel 8 and just ask if he wouldn't mind tweaking his course a little bit, give us a bit more sea room.
Fishing vessel just south of the manacles over. This is FH20. We're currently fighting some tuna. Can you bear off us a little bit, please?
You can see the other fishing vessel in the background there. He did give us some sea room, so appreciate that. Thanks for that, matey. While we're playing a fish, I keep the boat in tick over ahead, keeps us in a good direction, keeps everything stable and steady. But if it's not one hazard, it's another. We've just spotted some gear in the water, someone else's gear, could be a net, probably pots. I don't want our fish going anywhere near that, so I'm going to tweak our boat round. I've got no choice. I've got to put a bit of a drastic turn in here.
Put a bit of a turn there, Matt. All right?
Yeah.
Might have to back your drag off a tiny bit. Just a little bit.
Two rods across it.
You can see that buoy I was talking about. It's just on the surface there, just behind Matt. This is a chart of Falmouth Bay. You can see where we're fishing. This red pin here, this shows where we hooked up our fish. We're east of the manacles. Yeah, we were close in enough that there was plenty of other gear in the water here. There's a lot of buoys marking pots probably, maybe some nets. So we've been dodging in and out of them a little bit, all part of the game. Yeah, just a bit of a challenge really when you got a fish on. But thanks to my manoeuvre, Matt's fish is now well and truly underneath the fish on my rod, so I'm going to have to swap this rod back over to the starboard side.
You get on that rod.
Yeah, obviously moving these rods around is potential for absolute disaster, so you want to minimize doing that. That's definitely something I've learned. I mean, looking back, we moved these around probably far too much, but it was what it was on the day. We successfully made it work, so it's okay.
Yeah, we got 2 fish on at once. We were just winding in and we got the second hook up. We actually had 3 and 1 broke us. So now we're just trying to get this one in because we think it's the smaller fish before we get the other one, because the other one's not giving us much at all. Not a minute. These must be a bit bigger than the ones we've had yet. It's still taking 9, no way. Okay, I think this one's coming now. It's starting to do circles. Come on, fish. We'll do this. Having to hold the rod away from it to stop the lines crossing. We swapped the rods over once already. It wasn't very pleasant. Put a bit of steam on the boat, just a tiny bit. That's alright, coming back. Got hose on it, Matt?
That's the first fish on surface. Excellent stuff. We'll get that one in and get it on board. I'm going to get Matt on the rod, and I'm going to get my gloves on ready to do the leader. Once we get hold of the leader and bring the fish onto the ramp, Matt lets go of the rod side of things and gets onto the mouth grips. Now these are an amazing tool. They're going to go in the lower jaw of the tuna, and this will help us bring the fish aboard, no problem. With thanks to Chris for lending us these mouth grips until the set that we've bought arrives.
Okay, let them down. Okay.
Absolutely stunning fish. Bluefin tuna, incredible. While I'm working with this fish, Matt's going to go back to the other rod and he's going to keep the pressure on our other fish, and we'll get that one in as soon as possible. My job now is to basically, I've dispatched this fish with the brain spike and I need to bleed it. Getting the blood out of an animal that you're going to take for food is very, very important. It improves the quality of the food because the blood will congeal in the meat and it will ruin it basically, or at least degrade it. So my first job here is to bleed the fish. Fish 1 has been successfully bled. I'm going to give Matt a hand here. We're going to get this fish on board and then we're going to complete the icky jimmy with running the Shinkai wire down the first fish while we're bleeding the second fish, and we'll get them on ice.
Do you want to leave adrift or go into... So we icky jimmy all of our fish, and this fish is going to be the same. We run this wire down along the spinal column, that disconnects all the nerves, and it helps keep the fish in pristine condition. That's it, that's maximum on this fish. So that's the icky jimmy done. Google it, have a look, see what it is. Okay, we're just going to icky jimmy this fish as well.
Shinkai jimmy wire complete on both fish. That's part of the icky jimmy process. Notice our bags here, we're going to cool them down. It's a thermo insulated kill bag, brilliant bit of kit. We can actually lift fish in these as well. We're going to get a measurement of this fish. It should give us a good idea of how much it's going to weigh.
Okay, 1 meter 90. Get this fish in a slush ice now. Okay. Cool.
Icing these tuna is really important. Going to be icing inside the body cavity of the fish here, pushing the ice in all the way in the fish. The aim is to get the meat temperature down to 0 degrees as quickly as possible. And we're going to use this slush ice, which is salt water and ice mixed together. This is very effective at cooling fish fast.
Here's the bluefin tuna we've just landed. This one, we've cleaned it out. It's had icky jimmy. What a beautiful looking fish. We're going to get this fish on ice now. Just going to try something new with this fish. I want to put it in a bag. protect it from the ice, so we can get it nice and cold, but we can still protect it from the ice.
When I say protect it from the ice, I'm talking about scratching the fish. The ice is sharp in a way and it can scratch the outside of the fish. It's superficial,
All the way around.
but I'm trying to perfect this.
So it comes out as bum. Put the fish into this bag. It's the top jaw. 2 meters and 1 centimeter. So our fish iced and in a bag. This is a trial to see if it improves the fish on the ice. That was absolutely awesome and hectic. We had a double hookup. Actually, I think we had a triple hookup at one point. One of them broke us off, and then we dealt with the other 2 fish. Yeah, it's hot work, eh, Matt? Yeah. So we've got the fish on ice now. We've sorted them out, cleaned them up. They've all been bled, icky jimmied. They're on ice, and now we're just gonna have a sort out and a tidy up. I said I wanted 2 fish today. I didn't really mean at the same time, but we handled it. It's okay. Right. The time from hooking the fish to landing the first fish was 33 minutes and 57 seconds. And the second fish, it took us another 11 minutes and 12 seconds after we'd landed the first fish. So in total, 45 minutes.
These times are unusually long. Normally we bring in fish into the boat in around about 16 minutes. We did have some challenges on this fight, and also Matt's fish went off like a rocket.
Oh, look at that. That's our spreader bar. Completely bent. We can bend them back. Just got to do it carefully. There we go. Prepared. Know that one. Oh, look at that squid. It's completely turned inside out. Some force on these. Look at that one. On its way to being turned inside out. And that one. There we go. Okay, this fish here, we've got to turn it round now. So one side's been on ice and I want to get the other side cooler. I'm going to roll it that way. 1, 2. 5 fish, squid. She's done 5 fish. We're starting to split a bit. No, it's the best lure we've got yet. Oh, also a bit mangled. Not in a hurry for a second. No, we're not in a hurry at all now. Fish are on ice. That's the main thing. That's us steaming back in now. We've got our 2 fish that we've caught today. Just going to go and land them in Falmouth now and get the weights as we land them. So stick with us and see how heavy our fish were.
I'll leave there on the deck there and wait for you to come up.
Yeah.
You've already got there.
2 today, a bit bigger though, right? So we're putting some scales on the crane here so that we can weigh our fish and we're getting an exact weight of the fish. Before we hook it up, we'll obviously have to tear the scale.
Where do you want it, mate? You want it?
Here, please, mate.
What's going out further?
Yeah, or head down on it a little bit. That'll do, mate. Down on the wire a little bit. Keep coming in. All right. All stop. Up easy on that. Put. Hold it there, mate. We've got a fish weight here.
93.8 kilograms. This is the landed weight. So this is the fish without the guts, gills and gonads. They've all been removed. So using the conversion factor that I've been given by the MMO, I times this by 1.16, which gives us a live weight of 108.8 kilograms. Less than our estimate, but still a very nice fish.
How's it going, mate? All right?
Yeah, you?
Yeah.
Nice to see you, mate.
Yeah, you too, mate.
Good on.
So that's fish number 2 landed.
Now we're going to have a look at fish number 1. We empty the fish of ice, wash it all out so we have a correct weight. 105.5 kilograms landed weight. So again, if we times this by the 1.16, that should give us 122.38 kilograms live weight. Again, this is less than our estimate, which is sort of proving our chart is a little bit overestimating on weights, to be honest. But check it out. It's a stunning fish. Really pleased with this. And Matt, here's one for your photo album, mate. We get fish number 1 back in the bag. We're going to re-ice it with some fresh ice. And that's this fish landed also.
Right, see you as soon as I can, Matt.
The orange bag trial seemed to work. Definitely going to have to do some more tests. And it would be really nice to try and preserve some of the blue colour on landing. As soon as the fish is dispatched, that colour starts to fade, especially once it's gone in the ice.
That's me back on the mooring now. That's the end for today. Join us for next time when I'm going to go for some more of these bluefin tuna. I've got some fish deliveries to do now. I've got to go and deliver a tuna fish. Right, see you later.